Welcome to the What Honed You Show.
where we externalize your internal champion.
And welcome to the What Honed You Show. And man, I am so excited to get this project off and running. It's been a long time waiting. We have some exciting shows in store for you guys, from all athletes, from professional MMA guys, NFL guys, NBA, doctors. I mean, anybody that wants to educate us and entertain us. And hell, we might even make you laugh here and there. I got my right-hand man, Trevor Wittman, as my co-host today. And tell me, what do you think of the show?
So let's kind of go over what this show is going to be about. I'm really excited to, bring education. I think that's a very important piece, and an educational mindset we'll be doing techniques, but mainly what's inside the mind of a fighter. And it's not just going to be fighters. We're going to have just top-tier athletes that we want to get on the show. Really, the dynamic that we're going to have is I would love to have coach dynamic. I would love to have fighter-coach dynamic, fighter-fighter dynamic, where we're shooting the shit just about mindset. What does it take? What are the biggest obstacles that you had to overcome? What got you into the sport of fighting? I think there's so much to learn about guys that get into this sport. I also want to talk to doctors. I think it'd be really cool to bring doctors in and talk about injuries and the educational piece for you guys out there that are training and want to know, how do you overcome injuries? How do you stay safer when it comes to training? That educational piece. Also my experience with over 20 years of running gyms. I run 7 different gyms. So, how to run a gym safely from my experience. I don't know everything, but I would like to share my experience. I think it's very important to know what it takes to make champions. And obviously, when you start with a gym, I didn't start with champions. I started with amateurs, and it turned into something great, and it just built and built and built. So I want to share my education too, but I also want to get different perspectives. Having other top-tier coaches, the top of the tier out there, I want to get the best of the best. We're also going to have multiple co-hosts, so I'm not always going to be on the show. I want to have guys come in here that have relationships with other fighters, and you can kind of get the backstory of how they built their careers. So I think it's going to be really very unique when you're in the MMA space, but also in all sports. Like I think people can be inspired for business. There's a lot of techniques and stuff that we use that fits with life. It fits with relationships. And again, mindset. Everybody's into mindset. If you want to be better at something, you want to set goals, and you want to externalize that internal champion, it's very important to educate yourself. And I used to just listen to podcasts and also audiobooks. Like when I drive, I love listening to audiobooks. And this could be from business people, from other sports people that I've listened to, where I learned a lot and I used it in my techniques in the way that I created champions. So I'm really excited. And my purpose is cool because it's a part of the show now. And my purpose for the last 10 years, I was dealing with a mentor, a very high-level mentor. And he told me, you got to come up with a purpose, Trevor. Like, what is your purpose? And I'm like, I started coming up with all these full, paragraphs. And he's like, break it down. I want it in one sentence. And that was a challenge for me. But it was so important. This is something I repeat to myself prior to walking out to the fight with an athlete, prior to doing a workout with an athlete. I also do it like in business life, before I'm having a Zoom meeting. I repeat my purpose. It's like an affirmation to me. And my purpose is to externalize the internal champion. So you'll hear me say that a lot. Yeah. And that was me breaking down all the things that I like to do. And it all came down to, how do I make someone great? And that's where I came up with that statement, externalize the internal champion. So that's really what this show is about. ONX is providing this podcast for us to get around all the influence of these guys and dig in deep and really find out about them. Because I think it's every time I get to work with an athlete, I find so much out about myself that I could do better. Things that I'm doing that they're doing that's working. So it kind of supports some of the things that I'm doing. But I also learn so much. I mean, I'm still learning from guys like Justin. I'm still learning from guys like Kamaru. I learned so much. Top athletes and world-class fighters, they teach you so much. But same thing with NFL, same thing with NHL. I don't care what you're doing, but also the doctors. I just really want to get into their minds, especially like Dr. Davidson. I want to get him on the show. Yeah. That's going to be one ask. He's a UFC doctor, and I would like to, I've done a ton of research on, injuries. I've done a ton of research on weight cutting. That's a big subject that I want to talk about. I also want to talk about subjects like how do you score a fight?
Yeah.
And what's the issues with the scoring? Like, there's so many different ideas, and me and Corey joke about this all the time. And Corey's going to be one of our co-hosts also. Justin's going to be a co-host. We have a few top coaches. Dwayne Ludwig is committed to be another co-host. So hopefully we're going to be getting people like Boss rooting in, and just, again, high-level people. I mean, he was a movie actor.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to just, create some education, some experience, and what I've learned, share with the world, and dig in and find out not the normal questions that you're going to hear. He also said that it's going to be super entertaining. Like, we like to have fun. Like, that's a huge thing. Is we're going to joke around, goof off, and try to make it entertaining for you guys. I don't want to be bland and stuff like that. The educational piece is going to be the biggest piece, but on top of that, we want to make you laugh. We want to make you enjoy the show, and we're going to bring a ton of making you smarter type of subjects, but I guarantee you, we probably will make you dumber, because our humor is super dumb. So if you like dad jokes and stuff like that, I think you really will like this show.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I'm so excited about this show, and just to share this opportunity with you, Trevor, I mean, what a great time it's going to be.
Absolutely. So Luke's a guy that I go and do a podcast with. He's got Gladiators Unleashed also, so he's got experience doing a podcast. I've known this guy for 20-something years. Yeah. It's crazy how fast time goes by.
Time flies, baby.
And we've been great friends, and our families are really close. So I'm really excited to be able to do this with you, Luke, and share this. Luke is like one of the funniest guys, one of just the best personalities to be around. And he reminds me of myself in a way, and I got to kind of talk about this a little bit. So I used to call fights for ESPN from a coach's perspective. And I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved giving information to the fans. What makes this cool is that when I had to critique coaches, that's hard, because critiquing someone without me telling a story where I screwed up, that's hard for me. So I wanted to go out there and just be very positive in that realm, because, again, a lot of the coaches are people we compete against, but I also respect them. And my whole thing is, if I only get a little snippet to be able to talk about what they're doing wrong, I don't know if they're doing it wrong. So having that experience was great. I really enjoyed the perspectives and the piece giving back to the fans, which we're going to do on this show. But the hardest piece for me, which I have never been good at, and what's crazy is, when I was growing up in high school, dude, I had the worst reading. I couldn't read. Like, I wasn't that good at
I can't read good, Bob.
Dude, exactly, dude. So I got to tell you a little funny story where I was doing the Hall of Fame introduction for Rashad, and they're like, hey, you have to send over what you're going to be reading. And I'm like, oh, I'm not writing nothing down. And he's like, oh, we have a deadline, send it over so we can look at it. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to free flow.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, we've never done that before. And so it came night of where we have rehearsals prior to doing the show. And they're like, hey, what do you have for the teleprompter? And I'm like, I am not looking at a teleprompter. I'm like, I will screw this up. I have the worst reading skills, pronunciating names. And that was the hardest part for me with the ESPN deal, was being able to pronounce names. And this guy is the same as me. Like, dude, you're gonna hear us talk about subjects, and from the core, there's gonna be a lot of information that's gonna be great. But I want you to know, we are not highly educated people. So we're going to be talking to people. And a lot of these fighters come from, places that might not be educated. Some people are super freaking smart, like Corey. Corey's like super intelligent. Justin, too. Justin's a guy who I think is more intelligent than us, which a lot of times, we sound like him a little bit. Yeah. But the name branding, I would love to ask the fans, after, this is going to be our first intro in, and then we're going to have a show every week. I would love for you guys to come up with a name for me. Right now, I call myself the Butcher, because I butcher names, and I used to have nicknames for all my guys, like Shane Carwin. I had Shania Carwin. Yep. Shane drives a Caravan out of Carwin. Yep. I have all these names because I screw people's names up. I used to mess up Rose Namajunas' name all the time. I would say Namajunas and all these weird ways that she'd look at me like this. So I also have one more quick story. Remember when I bought the jerseys that were so sweet for Justin?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, and I spelt his name wrong. I spelled Gaethje wrong. Dude, we got these jerseys, dude.
For the record, it's hard.
Sewed on. Like, they cut the letters out on these nice jerseys. And this is when he was fighting World Series of Fighting. And he's like, Coach, my name's spelled wrong. I already looked at it. I was like, these are sweet.
Yep.
I blamed it on the lady. I ended up going back in. I'm like, there's no way I spelled that wrong. So we went back in there, and I screwed up. So I had to tell Justin I spelled the name wrong. But it'd be cool to get the fans involved, right? Like,
absolutely.
This guy, come up with a name so I can call him that. Every time he screws up on a word, when I start to try to pronounce someone's names, I'm going to butcher them. And I like to butcher. I actually have this huge butcher knife I'm going to bring out every time I screw up. But I would be open to listen to the fans and see, come up with a name. I want a name. I want to be, branded as, if I screw your name up, I'm not talking shit, but I'm going to, if I butcher it and I can tell it bothers you, I'm going to just, I like to have fun like that.
I mean, we're looking to just inspire you to have fun, and I want you to, when you hit play on our show, we want you to have a good time and want to have a good listen with us, with our guests. And speaking of guests, we have Justin Gaethje fighting in a few days. We just got out of camp with him.
Yep.
And we want to talk to you guys and show you guys what it's like to work with Justin Gaethje.
Absolutely.
And talk to him. So
especially before a fight. You know, it's right before a fight. I mean, it was we filmed it 10 days out.
Yep.
So
not very far, yeah.
You get to get the feelings of, again, things that have helped him get to the point. The people who have helped him were some of the subjects we talked about. And, man, it's really cool to get in the mind of Justin.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of a kind. And here's a little sneak peek for you all. Hey, so today we got the highlight, Justin Gaethje. Man, we have a lot going on this month. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of ups and downs with the wind, the power, and everything through your training camp. Coach T been sick, and you just have kept your mindset just focused.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is our last chance. 37 years old, and I've worked very hard, made a lot of sacrifices to be here. So I'm not going to take any shortcuts. I haven't taken any shortcuts along the way, but it's such a crazy sport, and sometimes I've explained it a couple of times. It's hard to be perfect every time, and the battle is to be perfect for 25 minutes on January 24th. So. Right now, it's just hard work, so that when I make that walk, I can understand and trust the preparation, and then it's a little bit less, terrifying.
Well, let's talk about that walk. I mean, what does it mean for you to walk for another championship belt?
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, I came into the UFC in 2017. I have fought for the belt, the interim belt, the BMF belt, the undisputed belt, I think 4 times. And at the end of the day, I'm still here. I've fought and I've won when I needed to win. I have lost a couple of those championship fights, and but I've only lost 2 champions and in championship fights. And outside that, I haven't lost. And ultimately, if I was not good enough or didn't deserve this, I wouldn't be here. But I've been here since 2017. I've 14 times in the octagon. Only fought top 5 guys. Only once did I fight a guy outside the top 10, and I'm still here. So it proves to me, and what I already know, what my coaches know, that I'm, have been and am one of the best in the world. It's about not making mistakes, and it's, like I said, you can't be perfect every time. You expect yourself to be perfect every single night for every single second, and ultimately, it's just sometimes it doesn't happen. But a lot of that comes from thought processes before the fight, trying to mask the danger, and I fight the best when I realize how much danger I'm in. And Paddy is that. Paddy's dangerous, and he's trying to take everything from me. Like Fiziev, coming off. I'm pretty much still coming off a loss. Although I did come back and get a win, my mindset is I just got knocked out by Max Holloway, and I have everything to prove. So I'm excited for the opportunity. First show on Paramount Plus, 14th, this is my 15th fight. I think it's, 10, 11, 12. You guys have to check me on how many times I've been a main event for these guys. And, it just shows me that, that I still, obviously still have it. My coaches still believe in me. I still believe in me. And the company keeps putting me in these big positions for a reason. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, speaking of happy to be here, I mean, I know I'm very happy to be with you, to ride along your coattail. But the man that's actually helped us, both of us, to get where we were at, Trevor Wittman, like, what has it been like coaching Justin Gaethje?
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Like, I through my coaching experience, I've been very lucky to be able to coach people that are already at a high level. And in the last 20 years, most of the people that I coach are guys that have come to me that are already in a top 10 position. Justin's one of those guys that I got to start with. Like, he had 5 amateur fights prior to me being able to work with him. So it was we got to ride this journey for such a long period of time. And speaking about age, this is he had said something at the gym that just made me crack up. And you start having so much fun through the experience, and when you're having fun, time flies. I remember looking over at him, and my perspective is he was 33, 34. I had asked him, I was like, Justin, how old are you? And he said, 36, about to turn 37. And I was like, oh, shit, we got to hurry. Let's go. I was like, Shadowbox right now. But, the time goes through, and it's just the process was so fun. He's so coachable, and being able to work with someone from the beginning, you build this relationship, and being able to build a relationship not only with him, with his family, and really getting to know him. Because one thing as a coach is I try to really learn them and be a part of their life. I don't want to coach someone and then once they're done, they leave and I don't talk to them and I don't do anything. Like we do snowboarding, we do all sorts of fun things. We golf all the time. It's a relationship, and I believe the best fight camps out there are fight families. And having Justin has just been nothing but a pleasure. And but there's a funny thing. I was asking myself about a week ago. Justin, I always know that he got into fighting with wrestling at the age of 4, but I have never known. When did you know you were going to fight? Was it at 4, or did you watch a UFC event? Because this is something I need to know. I don't even know about you.
So my when I was like 4, 5, 6, 1992, when they started in Denver and they had no rules and it was tournament style, my dad would show me on, he would steal it. Like everybody steals in there.
Hopefully that doesn't come back on him.
Back then we had a black box.
He borrowed
we had one too.
A black box.
Yeah. He borrowed the black box.
Before the internet, so it was different times. I saw it and I fell in love with it, and I was a wrestler then. And then I just kept wrestling and competing. It took me to college. And then when I was in college, I had some UFC guys come in, and I took them down. And I was competitive against them. And I was like, well, and I understood that... I always looked up to people. I always thought these guys were more than human when I would watch them on TV. And then I met them and understood that they're not more than human. They're just like me, just a little bit crazy. And so I was like, well, I want to try this. And my coaches, used it as a leveraging tool for me to get my grades up, because I was there to wrestle. I was never there to go to school. And then so you need to get your grades up. You got to be eligible to compete. And if you get your grades up, we'll let you fight in the summertime. So then I started fighting in the summertimes. Still never thought I would, be here today, but it was so fun. The first time I fought, it was the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever felt. And every time I fight, it's still the biggest adrenaline rush that I've ever felt. And it's definitely a special feeling that I love to put myself in. I love to show off. I love to win and compete. And as you get older, you get a little bit softer. And so I ultimately have to remember how competitive I am and how much I want to win. And that's still just as much as when I was, 4 or 5 years old. But I think whenever I fought the first time in 2008, I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life.
2008.
Crazy.
Holy cow.
That's crazy.
That's
what I mean. Time flying.
It's It's crazy because I remember this guy coming in the gym, and this was the end of my career. He would come in, and you remember it, right? It was sparring day. He would come in with Shane Carwin.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that's how
Shane would drive you down.
That's how I met Trevor. Shane would drive me. I had no money, nothing. Could not get myself down here, so he would let me jump in his truck. He'd drive me down. We'd spar, and then I'd go back.
Yeah. Well, honestly, how we met was there was something prior to that. He was fighting on the Ring of Fire. Justin was, and it was after his fight where I went and introduced myself and invited him to the gym and told him that, Shane was one of my guys, and he knew Shane through the wrestling, because we had probably a 20-minute conversation. It was a great conversation. He was actually in the locker room by himself, just chilling. And I went up, introduced myself, and said, I'm a huge fan. It was one of the funnest fights I've ever seen. Sven Bean, I believe that's right, that named you the highlight.
Yep.
And it fit so perfect. And the reason why it fit perfect, I was watching you fight, and you were throwing bolos. And he actually got caught with a good shot, but he picked the dude up and put him on his head. It was one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen. Like, his whole fight, whether it was striking or grappling, was so spectacular. And so we had this conversation, and I invited him into the gym, and I knew one of his wrestling coaches, one of his assistant wrestling coaches, and I told Justin to come on down. So it's crazy how long we've been training together, where I thought it was like, in interviews for the UFC, I was like, we've been training together like 10 years. It's way past 10
longer
years.
than that.
God,
15 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Crazy.
remember sparring day. And Trevor,
Don't lie.
you handed him a headgear, and
It was my first time ever. I was
sparring,
5-0. 5-0. I'd never been punched really, other than in that fight.
He came to the gym, and so he showed up, and it was awesome because he kept telling me he wants to fight. So I'm like, obviously, like I seen you at the fights, you know. So I didn't understand his communication to it, but you know, again, when you're not in a gym, like he's been wrestling his whole life, he's never been into an MMA gym, never been into a boxing gym, never been into a kickboxing gym. And when he came in, he's like, yeah, I'm here to fight. And I was like, well, we're not fighting today. We're sparring, you know. And he's like, he kept saying, you know, I'm here to fight. Dude, he was like this ball of energy. You touch him, he's like solid as a rock. And he comes back, and I'm like, do you have any gear? Because he just showed up. He had like some basketball shorts on. And so I took him back to the gear rack, and I'm like, all right, just grab some gear. And I was like, and I wasn't telling him to put headgear on. I was like, here's some shin guards. Here's some headgear. Here's some headgear if you need. He's like, he turns around. He's like, look at all these guys out here. They don't have helmets.
No one has helmets on. Why do
He
I
said
have a
helmets,
helmet?
dude. I got the best chuckle out of that. Like that was Justin to a T. Like the guy, he was so straightforward and so simple. And this links me into something, Justin, because I'm really big into the mindset, and that's kind of how I built my career. Was when fighters come to me, they were like, "Coach, you have a different mindset. You know how to get me ready. You know how to help me when I'm facing my fears. You know when I'm starting to break down. You're very good at these types of things and these drills to do. And that's like one of my favorite things to do. I studied it for so many years because the mind is such an important thing. And Justin Gaethje, I don't know if I've ever told you this. You are the only athlete that I've never worked mental training with. Never.
No.
It's like he has the simplest thing, dude. He would be like, so I'd be like, hey, how you feeling? Like, hey, you worried about your performance? Like, we just got to go out there and just be smart, and you know, we have to win rounds. And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, you worried about like if you ever lose a fight? And he's like, fuck it. He's like, if I lose, I'm gonna lose his style. Like he just has this mentality. No matter whether we had a time where we lost a fight, or if we were overcoming something, or we're stepping out there and facing, you know, he was a main eventer when he first came into the UFC. That's one of the hardest things to do. Coming in with a big contract and more money because he was a champion in another organization that only sells out 1,000, maybe 1,500 seats, 2,000 at the most. You probably hit all the records with all your Arizona fans.
Yeah.
I remember 800 came to Vegas for one of the shows, but you went to a main event and had Michael Johnson, who was number 4, and you have had top 5 guys in every UFC fight, and your mentality has never changed. I remember the one time that just cracked me up when we were fighting Khabib. You did a backflip off the cage, and I was like, Justin, no more backflips
In practice,
In
yeah.
practice, I was like, hey, you know, I don't want you to blow it.
I looked at you. I was like,
dude,
I was like, so today's the day. You just turned into a bitch right now.
that cracked me up. And the next
day.
day I seen him, I was like, you can go back to backflips. I thought about it. And that's the mentality. Because when it comes to a spirit is everything. Like you could have these, you know, physical people, but it's the mental state that makes someone like a Justin Gaethje. And this is why every fighter out there has you as the fighter's favorite fighter. Like they look up at you. There's times when we're on the bus, when we're on the shuttle at World Series, and you're like, dude, I need to stop and get a dip. Dude, you go in there, and dude, people are like I stayed on the bus. They're like, who the fuck is this guy? It's your first time we're fighting Jay-Z. And we're on this bus with all these guys. And dude, they come back. And I remember after the fight, dude, everybody was like, this guy is freaking. Remember you were licking the blood? Dude, when he fought Jay-Z, Cal Vicante.
I was like, did I win?
Dude,
Did I get my money?
Oh my gosh,
Like,
dude.
yes. I was like, yes.
But that's that. I just wanted to kind of speak about that. The mindset. That's something I'm very, very into. And Justin has been such a pleasure because I've learned so much from the simplicity of a mindset. Because I dig deep. I go really into how our mind works. Thoughts are real. All sorts of stuff. You know, we have conversations about things that I'm adjusting and things that I think can help him adjust. Yep. But this guy has gone where he is right now is because. I don't know if it's because of your parents and how they raised you, but that is such a cool thing to witness.
Yeah. Yeah, my faith and my parents introduced me to my faith, and ultimately, I have made it everything as simple as possible. I mean, it's so easy to confuse things and make things, you know, dramatic. But I always avoid that because I understand, and I learned early that emotions are killer. You know, emotions are life. And with my job, you know, there's less and less emotions. I think it's because there's no matching the high of winning these fights and no matching the low of losing these fights in life, at least that I've experienced. And so and I know that when I succeed, it's because I'm content with my performance and my preparation. And really, I just make it as simple as I can only control a few things. And as long as I'm in control of my thoughts, my emotions, my nutrition, my rest, my work ethic, my effort, then outside that, there's nothing I can control. So, and I understand how dangerous and fun and unpredictable this game is. And so once you're, I'm also a gambler. So if I'm gonna gamble, I'm gonna gamble on me. I'm gonna bet on me. And it's awesome to be in these one-on-one situations when all the blame lies on me. It's where I work.
There's something that you said one time after you had lost to Eddie Alvarez, and it was like, because he always goes into these fights and he's like, dude, this is the funnest thing ever, and everybody in the locker room is like, what this guy thinking? Because anybody who's saying that they're not scared, I don't believe him. This guy, I believe when he's like, dude, we're gonna go. He would yell in the locker rooms, I'm breaking bull feet tonight, and guys would look at him like turn over and be like this. There was one time in the locker room where the guy had an amazing performance, and he's like, hell yeah, great freaking fight, but you ain't getting that bonus. And like these little things that he says, but he said to me in the locker room, which I was like, dude, he's human. He looks over and he's like, Coach, I'm fucking scared. And I was like, what is coming out of Justin's? It kind of scared me. I was like, dude. And then he goes, I'm scared because I'm not scared. I should be. I lost my last fight. I should be scared. And that's like Luke is one of those guys that when Justin says things like this, he instantly goes to the bathroom. And what do you do every fight?
I puke, man.
You puke.
100%.
100% every fight.
It's just crazy because, Trevor, you and I both have been together for a long time. And when this guy walked in the gym with his glasses pulling it up, and everything, it's just crazy to see where this guy has been and came. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
He's developing into a guy a role model for everybody. He really has. And when I met him the first day, I just wanted to be his friend. And now
Stuck with me still, baby.
And literally, he's
even through bad times.
Even bad
times.
He is literally
the bad times are the good times.
Yeah.
I mean,
but there's been some bad times. Locking him outside in the snow,
in my own
naked,
house, naked,
bullying
me in my own house.
Dude,
he didn't kick me out.
Making Luke almost squeeze a water bottle. I've never seen him so mad at the trading floor. You remember when you told him get up and you came in late?
Like, shut the fuck
He comes
up.
in. So Luke comes in late to trading one day, and Justin asked me right before that my phone. I don't answer it once I get on the floor, and Justin's like, "Where's Luke at?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then all of a sudden Luke comes in, and it's like halfway through the first round. And dude, he's sitting over there, and I'm like, "What's up, Luke?" And he gives me knuckles, and he's like, "Dude, I sent you a message. I was stuck in traffic," and I was like, "Cool, no problem." And Justin's on the ground in the corner, and dude, Luke is like, he wants to let Justin know he's here. So, that's what happens when you're late. You come in and you want the teacher to know I've been here the whole time. Like he has this act, and dude, he's like, and he wants to be like, "Hey, Coach is here." He's like, "Get up. Get up." He says it like 10 times with this aggressive voice, and Justin doesn't say a thing until the bell rings, and the bell ends at the first round, and Justin instantly rolls over and says, "Get up, get up."
Oh,
he's like,
he ripped
"What?"
my ass.
He's like, "What does that even mean? Get up, give me an instruction." Dude, he got so mad at Luke, and dude,
I was like, you're causing panic in my.
Well,
dude, it's so funny.
You're causing me to panic. I'm trying to not make mistakes.
that's
here.
not what we're working on. I'm like, we're working on you getting fucking held down. Okay, cool.
Dude, so Luke sits down, and Luke usually doesn't take anything to heart because these guys always mess with each other. So I sit down and I laugh and I make a joke out of it. Dude, Luke doesn't even look me in the eye, and he's sitting there in his water bottle, he's squeezing it. Dude, so I was like, I kind of pulled away, and I was like, oh, Luke's really upset, dude. He was so mad. But that's the fun of what we do.
Oh, it's nothing. I mean, I get it. Like,
it's
damn
always
well,
good times.
fight camp is fight camp, right? Like, it's tough. It's tiring. It's tough. Well, guys, I hope you guys liked our sneak peek of what we're about to bring you week after week here at the 100 Show. Make sure you check us out on all major platforms. Check us out on social media. Give us a like and a subscribe. And we out.
Foo.